Good afternoon, 3 p.m., our time to share knowledge. Today, I want to give you an overall summary, everything related to meals, entertainment, and business expense deduction. As a small business owner, I know you have those ones, right? But between the Job Act, which President Trump rolled out in 2019, versus the OBBA, and those two are kind of getting the timeline confused, right? When we say what is 2025 year, what is this year's treatment? Some people talk about 2026, some people use the past. So what I do right now here, I break down all the categories, then give you 3 timelines. Before OBBA, and within OBBA 2025 and 2026. So that way you can literally use this webinar as a little checkpoint for your meals, entertainment, and the travel expenses. And you just save this one and you would get all the answers. So let's just get going. And we did it that way, trying to make your life easy. All right. So before we start webinar, you know how we always want to brag about who we are? Just in case, this is the first time you joined Community CPA's webinar. I will be so not happy because we have been here for 5 years and this is your first time. Are you kidding me? But of course, that's okay. I'm happy you're here. This is our website. You can go to our website to literally have an appointment with us. And we come on to video chat with you. We literally resolve your problems. And I have to tell you that I have these kind of video appointments all the time from online. And I have not had any time I did not resolve the taxpayers' problem. Sometimes the taxpayers might think the problem is a small problem. But after talking with us, they understand the depth of the problem, then they can take steps to resolve that, right? So it is definitely a place where you want one-time engagement and you go to the appointment and just make appointment with us. With that said, and a quick run of our firm, and this is just our data, and I won't bore you with that today. We have a lot to cover, but I want you to see YouTube channel. This is our YouTube channel, like today's content will be on YouTube channel for you, even if you didn't have time to finish listening this today, and you can go onto YouTube channel, find it, and then you can save it. Whenever you felt like I did a really good job, I take it really personally if you give me a thumb up because I know that means I did a good job. Please do that for me if you really enjoy our webinar. And these are the 2 books I wrote. It's on the internet, you can purchase. And I am working on 2 more. It's a 4-book series. I just did 2. I have to finish. So I have a 2 p.m. and a 6 p.m. to come up. And you realize that I write these books as the life of business. You start up a business, you grow, you expand, you retire from your business. So these are the 4 books I'm writing. And no responsibility disclaimers, just to kind of putting a little burden on you, whatever you learn online, because it's a free webinar, folks. So you want to take the content seriously, verifying it, just like when you listen to the fake news out there, and then, you want to verify the truth, right, of these people's claim. And nowadays, not like before, you can't have that much trust on social media or on media in general. It is really relying on your judgment. So I want to say that to you, not because our content is so political, no. It is because our content is so fluid. And today we say this way, and next day, and the government changes the rules. And have you ever experienced how to change baby diapers? That is literally how we change policy right now. So just understand how diapers are changed so frequently. That is how policy are updated, changed, and or being interpreted differently all the time. But we do interpretation too, and so our interpretation could be wrong as well. That's why, and you take responsibilities, right? All right, business meals. Business meals with client or with prospectives. So pre-OBBA time, pre-time. You know, this OBBA was issued on July 4th, 2025. Okay, so there's a lot of different timelines within 2025. Say the new rule starts, the old rule stop at January the 20th. You know, something like that. So I did a section that is pre-OBBA through 2025. That's a 50% deductible if ordinary, necessary, not lavish. Okay, and then with proper documentation. So meals with client and the potential clients, business meals, 50% deduction. That's before. Under OBBA in 25 is the same. Okay, under OBBA in 2026 and the future is the same. So business meals, what? 50% deduction. Not lavish means that I don't know what lavish. I don't have anything lavish, so I don't understand that. But I'm pretty sure the people at the White House knows how to do lavish dinner, so or lavish lunch, or even lavish snack, and whatever they do, but with proper documentation. Lavish itself is very, very subjective. Depends on your auditor, right? If your auditor makes a couple $1 million a year at home, their lavish might be nothing. Might be anything you do is not lavish because they make too much money. They have a lifestyle that is different than you. But if your auditors is making regular W-2 and you are making too much money, then everything you do might be lavish. So it's like, that's kind of subjective. But in general, you don't want to overdo it. That's what that is. All right, entertainment expenses. Examples would be like sport event, concert. So pre-OBBA, do we have a better way to say OBBA? OBA? Let's say OBA, okay? Pre-OBA through 2025, no deduction, not allowed, entertainment. This is coming from the Job Act, you know, at the first term of President Trump's administration. But under this new OBA in 2025, it remained the same, no deduction. And under this same OBA rules for 2026 and the future, it's also the same. Example I gave you to say it is no deduction. For example, an employee take a customer to a baseball game. The cost of the ticket is not deductible. Okay, so you cannot reimburse your employee, say, okay, I reimburse you, you are in whole, I am going to deduct my business expense. No, you cannot. A company executive team enters a golf tournament sponsored by client. The expenses related to playing the golf, and those are not deductible. So not all your CEOs get together, you play golf and you deductible? No, that's not deductible. But there is exceptions. Expenses for recreational, social, or similar activities primarily for the benefit of the employee. Okay, other than just the highly compensated people and you're making that available to everyone, that would be deductible. And expenses directly related to business meetings of employees, that's deductible, okay? And then expenses directly related to a business meeting that requires attendance, like you ask all of your people show up, those kind of things are deductible. So these are entertainment expense. Now I just gave you the general idea is no, but if you were doing it for your employee, whether they are highly paid or lower paid, and that's deductible. So with that said, let's move to the other one, employer provided meals on premises for the convenience of employer. So what we're seeing here is that, let's say, you run a construction site, and the construction site is such a remote area that there is no lunch available. If your folks are just taking 45 minutes lunch, they haven't even drive out of town yet. They already need to come back, so they don't have a place to eat. So as an employer, you would provide meals for the workers to continue to work. So this kind of rule is 50% deductible if it is ordinary necessary, not lavish for the spending. So under 2025 OBA rule in 2025, it is still 50%. So in 2025, this year, you do whatever you do, but it's only 50% deductible. But in 2026, there is a change. There is an exemption for that. It's a 0% deductible. And then exemption is narrowed down to if it is overtime meal, or meal during the business meeting, or meals employees are on call, or meals that is just absolutely part of the work, right? So you like this construction team, and if the boss goes out, bought the meal, that is deductible, because they would not even be able to have a lunch if you don't provide that, because they're just not available. Those are what we called overtime. We classify that as an overtime meal, right? Because you don't even, the workers can't take their hours out. They would have to work continuously. There's no place to go. So these are the employer provided meals on premise. Deductible or not deductible just depends on which year you are in, and also on which exception that applies. So that is employer provided meals. Meals provided by restaurant or businesses, meals by restaurant takeout, related to that. So basically, under the old rule, is treated as a business meals, whether you buy it from restaurant or whether you eat at the restaurant. So it's treated as a business meal, so it's 50% deductible. But under the 2025, the OBA rule come out in July, on July 4th. So the meal provided by a restaurant by OBA rule is 100% deductible in year 2025. So just think through that. So if it is 100% deductible, so for example, if you have a meals that you provided to your worker, they eat in your restaurant, that's 100% deductible. If you purchase the meals from the restaurant, it's 100% deductible. Under 2026 and under the OBA rule in 2026 and after, the special 100% deductibility will go away by January the 1st, 2027. So that means this kind of rule, it came in on 2025, it goes away at the end of 2026. So you have a temporary time for that to be 100% deductible. All right. Meals in connection with entertainment, if not separately invoiced by provider. So if you come to, if you come to a theater, you watch a movie and you buy popcorn, if they are not separately provided by the provider, and then it is not deductible. But if you are separating them, entertainment, the movie itself is not deductible, but the meal can be counted as a business meal, right? So this is the rule that throughout the time they didn't make much changes on here. So if you are doing entertainment and meals together, maybe the best practice for our small business owners is to make sure that the provider provides you with lines that's separating your entertainment from the meal they provided to you. All right. Company event and the meals for all employees, like holiday parties, award, etc. And a pre-OBA rule through 2025 December is 100% deduction, 100%. For example, Christmas time is coming. A lot of company has Christmas party time, so that is 100% deductible. And in under this new OBA rule and throughout 2025, it's the same. And for the future, right now, it's the same. So you can deduct the company event and the meals for all of your employees. Meals included in W-2. What does that mean? Sometimes some small business owners, they would provide the meals for employee. They don't have to pay, but they track on how much they ate, what price they should have paid. Then they added that into their W-2 as additional compensation. If you do that, it is 100% deductible. Before 2025, future of 2026, they're all deductible. So meals that included in employees' W-2 are deductible to small business owners. All right, something fun I want to show you. Meals on vessels exception. I pull this out. There is a specific section in the OBA rules talk about fishing vessels and the vessels. I took upon myself to understand that these are vessels. Okay, so after December 31st, 2025, the deduction for employer-provided meals will be disallowed except certain meals provided on vessels. Oil and gas platform, which are the drilling platform that you see that, in the movie. I have never really seen a real one. I know there in Florida there was a big accident related to these platforms leaking oils and polluting the ocean. So those are, when you are there, drill rigs and, support camps. So those are what they are mentioning and are free if you have meals on the vessel. And OBA recognizes exceptions, meals on the vessels, that remain deductible even when others are disallowed. So even though business meals is 50%, but if you are on a vessel and that you don't need to worry about 50%, it's 100% deduction. So this is after, and this is after December 31st, 2025. So there is not an implementation in 2025. It is after. Business travel, transportation. When we talk about business travel, and we immediately think of transportation. Transportation related to airfare, train, bus, car rental, taxis and Ubers, Lyft, all of these, 100% deductible. So our small business owners, when I say 100% deductible, of course I mean that you should reduce your taxable income by this amount, right? But a lot of times you actually reimburse your employee of that amount, and on your book you actually just have the employee's name and the amount you pay to the employee. The best practice, folks, is actually making sure when you write that check to the employee and you write reimbursement of business travel, the date, then the receipt you got from your employee to attach to it. Don't just book a number and say, oh, that was the travel I reimbursed. Because when you get audited by workforce or even by IRS, they want, they're thinking that is not reimbursement. They think that is payroll. That is compensation you paid to your employee, and you're just trying to skim Social Security and Medicare. You're trying to save yourself taxes. So don't fall into that trap. Just make sure that your memo stating business reimbursement, and you can deduct the whole thing that you paid to the employee. Business travel, lodging. Lodging is like hotels, right? And there's also miscellaneous things related to lodging, like tips. And you have, the concierge coming over to help you. You give tips, baggage, and local transportation, Ubers, or even parking, right? Dry clean. You drink too much and you spill on your, your suit and you need to dry clean that overnight. And business call not so much anymore. These are old time. But now, everybody's very convenient with cell phone. But it used to be, you make business call internationally and then you have to pay for the hotel. These are all deductible as long as you are on the business trip and you are living in the hotel and incurring all of these miscellaneous expenses. They are deductible, no question to ask. Meals during business travel, away from home during the business travel time, then you can deduct 50%. 50%, yes. See, 25 and 26 is all the same. And a mixed business and a personal travel, combining them together, only the portion of cost allocated to business days is deductible. Okay, transportation is normally fully deducted because you got there by going through transportation, but lodging and everything else only applied to those business days that you are conducting business. So with that said, so part of it is deductible, part of it is not, right? Part of it, the part of it deductible, apply 50% rules, part of it is not deductible, then you should not even write a check to your employee for that. All right, per diem method. I want to mention this one because there are small business owners are doing per diem. Instead of using actual cost with receipts and everything, just use the per diem rules that published at IRS website. Per diem is not taxable to employee. So the check you write to the employee per diem, it doesn't show up on their W-2. IRS update per diem annually, so you always want to get the current one. For most of the locations, the domestic travel per diem is the same, but they do have expensive places where the per diem rate would change. So you're always going to go to IRS. You just go to irs.gov, and in the search bar, you say per diem rate. So they will give you international, domestic, is everything you want is in there. And you would, as long as you pay for the per diem rate, it is very clean, and your employee gets the money, and you get the deduction. Transportation, lodging, and incidental expenses 100%, right? But come to the meal and entertainment, incidental expenses, then under the per diem rate, that is 50%. So you can see the per diem rate, then you pay half of that. For 2025 and 2026, business meal is generally 50% deduction. I just want you to remember that. It is not 100%. I know during the COVID years it was a little different, but now it changed back, so it's 50%. All right, so I want to make sure that we understand the bookkeeping. And all of these deductions, if you ever get audited, the auditors are not just looking at your ledger and say, oh, that's okay, it's on the general ledger. No, they want to see the backup. So if you have employees or even other partners travels extensively, they have all these expenses claimed, make sure that they have a record and you keep the record. And without adequate substantiation, that should be disallowed. You cannot just pay as an employer, as a small business owner, you want to do it right. So make sure you follow the rules and you have the receipts. So, I have this one extra slice here because it has caused quite a stir to the big companies when this OPPBA rule come out. Basically the rule said that the cafeteria, the free office snacks, that that is for the convenient of the employer, so the employees can eat, they are not deductible. So IRS has made the rule that deduction for food and beverage provided to employees through employee-operated eating facility are generally disallowed for amount paid and incurred after December 31st, 2025. So Of course, have you ever visited Facebook facility, which I have? I have done Facebook, Google's, and I have seen their facilities, their in-house cafeteria. It's all free. People can eat there, sleep there. They don't have to come out of that facility for a week at a time if they don't want to. So there's no money to transact. It's just all free. So what they're saying here is that after December 31st, 2025, such a free stuff is not going to be there anymore. So this is really just made for the large companies. Somebody is not able to give out more to the employee. I don't know how much Facebook deduct. Depends on the number, right? So with that said, so you understand, employers should expect these costs to be non-deductible, okay? So really, those are things different after the OBA rules came out. Conclusion. There are some nuances between 25 and the 26 and the future, right? Just focus on 2025 right now and get your general ledger treated for 50% and 100% treatment. Your general ledger, I mean your chart of account. Your chart of account, maybe you had business, meal and entertainment, one line, right? Then you have your business travel, another line. So what you need to do is you need to put meal and entertainment. Just get rid of the word entertainment because you're not going to pay entertainment. Just meals. The meals, you're going to have two kinds, 100% and the 50%. Travel, same. You can break your ledger down by transportation, lodging, and miscellaneous. And then transportation, you always have it 100%. But your lodging and the meals, that you would have it 50% and 100%. Just because if it is a business meal, again, that is 50%. So with that said, it gives you some to-dos for after this webinar, and you need to fix your chart of account. Whenever in doubt, of course you can contact Community CPA. We are the Small Business Owners Tax Accounting Wikipedia, right? We know what you need. We understand your thinking, so we can always guide you to the right place to implement the right defense mechanism and to pay the least taxes, but yet without anything going out of line. All right, that is our appointment. Appointment button gives you our partner's name and shows you and how you can book appointment. And if you click me, and you will see my calendar, and I made myself available Central Standard Time after 8:30 to 10. So during this time, I can have 2 appointments if possible. My appointment is always 45 minutes, so I don't do 30 minutes appointment. I have a trouble to handle small frame of time because I don't have time to explain everything. So mine is always 45 minutes to an hour, and then you can find evening time if you want to. So you can see my availability. During the day, if you don't see any availability, it's not because Ying is lazy and don't want to work, it's because I am booked. I don't have any time. And the only time available is the time showing on the calendar. So I hope to see you when you really want to meet with me. And here is our general contact information. Our phone line is 515-288-3188. We open 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. Regardless of time, regardless of the tax season or not tax season, that's our year-round schedule from 8:30 to 5:30 Central Standard Time. All right, so Catherine@communitycpa.com, that would be the email address you want to use if you need me to talk talk to you about something different. And I will see you again on Saturday. And we are planning for Saturday webinar. I know I hardly ever announce what is next. Number one, because on the YouTube channel, you really don't care what is the next because you just search them. On the other hand, we always trying to do the one that is most pressing. Maybe something happened on Friday, then we will talk it on Saturday. So for that reason, we don't want to fixate on the topic, then tie ourselves up and we cannot jump in to talk about the most hot topic that on the market. So with that said, just keep your ear perked up and get our subscription so you get an email and you know what I'm talking about on Saturday morning.